Thank you for joining me once again for the Silent Sports video blog. Today's date is April 1st, 2023. This is episode 228 of the blog. Thank you so much for joining us. Actually, it's our 6-year anniversary, and I just figured that out last night. It's 6 years ago, on this date, 2017, we launched our first blog. It was a baseball special preview, so that was good to do that. Appreciate you guys so much for joining me today. Started a little late today. It's already after 10. You can have the video posted by 10, but I'm just recording. It's 10:19 Eastern Standard Time, so I say about at 11 o'clock hour it will post before noon. I would say I'll give it that before noon, give myself some time. Appreciate you guys though for joining me. Shouldn't be too much of a big show today. It's going to be a little bit of baseball talk as the season started on Thursday afternoon. A lot of teams finished their series today. Some teams took a day off yesterday. A little weird, I guess, if you want to say that. But I'm going to take a look at some of the opening day stuff, and I'll check on my World Series prediction. Of course, the Houston Astros and the Atlanta Braves. Braves played just one game. Astros, I think, already played 2 games. I think they split with the White Sox as they won last night. So we'll just take a quick look at those. NBA, we'll look at the playoff picture. Some teams had some big games last night. We'll take a look at that. Julius Randle injury for the New York Knicks. We'll talk a little bit about that. Did that hurt the Knicks' chances? He's going to be out the next 2 weeks, which will probably go into the beginning of the playoffs. Or if it's, I think it might be reevaluation, but we'll check it out and see what the verdict is there. And LaMarcus Aldrige retired again, so we'll take a quick look at his career. As I think he's going to retire for good this time. And the NFL latest, we'll take a look at other little stories, but of course we're going to talk about Lamar Jackson again, as he requested a trade about a month ago, but he just put it out to the public earlier this week. So I'll give my thoughts on that. Did that change anything for the Ravens or for him? And quick final thoughts. We'll talk a little bit about, we'll look back on the show a little bit. Like I said, the 6 years. It's been 6 years since we started the blog. We'll take a look back at, I'll talk a little bit about that. And the Final Four, both women's and the men. The men's starts tonight, but the women's already had 2 upsets in the Final Four. Number 1, South Carolina lost their first game at the wrong time, as Iowa upsetted them last night, and LSU was able to take down number 1 Virginia Tech. So that'll be the championship for the women, as there's already been some big upsets there. We'll see what the men's is just a grenade. So the 4 teams left, nobody would think they would be there. So we'll take a quick look at that as well before we roll out today. But let's get our baseball news out the way. I always like to get the baseball out the way, because we don't have a lot of baseball fans in the world anymore. But let's just take a look back at opening day, some of the tidbits, some of the stories from opening day. Of course, we talked about the Astros a little bit. They did lose their first game to the White Sox on opening day. Let's take a look back here. Had to watch my controller last week. We was live last week, and I had a couple of problems with the controller, so I gotta make sure I watch that. Well, let's talk about my teams that I like. The Braves, of course. Been a Braves fan forever. Got my hat here. You probably can't see it. The lighting is a little off today. It's cloudy and raining outside. I thought it'd be better to have the lights off. I usually put the lamp on to get more lighting, but I think it's better like this. Yeah, my Braves, they won their first game, but they lost Max Fried to a hamstring injury, so that sucks. But They get back at it today against the Washington Nationals. Orioles, Red Sox. Of course, I'm from Baltimore, so I followed the Orioles a lot. Became a fan as well of the Orioles. Close game, 10-9 opening day, but the young kid Rochman went 5 for 5. That was the story of that game. Yankees, they win opening day. Judge already off to a good start with a home run. Rangers Phillies, that was a game I was looking at, a series, because the Jacob DeGrom debut, but that didn't go well. And now that I'm sort of in the Phillies area, I'm sort of close to Philadelphia, so I'm around a lot of Phillies fans. Of course, the big loss of Rice Hopkins, which was hard at first base. But they was in a shootout. Rangers wound up coming back and winning, but the Grom didn't perform that well. I mentioned the Astros losing, but they got their rings. Angels, a lot of people talk about the Angels, of course, with Satoni coming off that stellar WBC. Was dominant throughout the whole tournament. His team didn't lose a game. But the Angels are not his teammates in Japan, as they lost to the A's. But I think they beat them the next night. But I guess I'll get my quick on the Angels. Yeah, I expect more from them, but it hasn't worked. Mike Trout, he's going to do what he do, and Sato will do what he do. Now, if I'm the Angels, I would try not to trade him. I would try to keep him. See if he could bring some, bring something. The fans, I know the fans come out and see him. If you think about it on that standpoint. But as far as winning, I don't know. Build the team. Anthony Rendon is in a little bit of trouble with a fan. Some altercation with a fan. I wouldn't say trouble. I mean, I didn't read the article, but I saw a little tidbit of that. I thought he would be better. The pitching staff under this Satoli got to get better. Yeah, they had a sort of a tough division. They really looking at the Astros, but everybody else in the West, the Rangers are better though this year, I think. But everybody else in Oakland. But everybody else in that division, Oakland is Oakland. What's the other team? Seattle. Seattle's not nothing to sneeze at either. So you're a little bit of a tough division, but I just think with those two guys, you would think. But in baseball, it's different than basketball. If you had one guy, you could compete. I mean, probably not at the highest level, but you could still be a competitive basketball team. Two guys, you pretty much could be a contender, depending on your bench and the players around them. Football, sort of the same like basketball, like one receiver probably can't change. I mean, even though I beg that we could still examples that it did, like Dion, and even though he's a corner, going and basically flipping the NFL with his move from Dallas to San Francisco, and then back, from San Francisco to Dallas as well. How he changed things. T.O. Every time he got on the team took off and went, like the Eagles broke through, got to the Super Bowl. So it's examples in football that, or quarterback, if you get a decent quarterback, that can change your whole team for the better. But in baseball, I don't think one player, two players. I think you gotta have at least one elite player, maybe two, and then your other guys gotta be at least average. Or good defensively. You gotta have things. You gotta have a pitcher as well. Pitching always pretty much decides who's gonna win. Whoever's pitching the best at that time usually wins the World Series. It's almost a guarantee. So baseball is a little bit more complicated, so having two elite guys don't necessarily get you to a consistent winning base. But we'll see how this season goes for the Angels. But I don't think they should trade him, but if they have to, they gotta get they gonna get a lot for him. If somebody wants Satoni, they give up anything for him, I would imagine. Trout's a little bit older now. I mean, he still has value, but I think Satoni is the one that you can pretty much flip your whole organization if you want to let him go. But of course I don't know nobody in the Asia, but my feeling around it is they're gonna keep him as long as they can. But they don't want him to walk. That's the scare. You don't want him to walk for nothing, you know. And I think he'll be better off in a bigger market anyway. Even though the Angels is in a big market, LA, but there's not the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Red Sox. They pretty much the three biggest teams as far as market in the major leagues. So that's just something to keep an eye on. They back at it today. Just to, you know, well, I already pretty much touched on these two teams. The Astros, I think they'd be fine. A lot of people think, you know, they might start off slow, but I would just believe in the Astros. You just, you know, just out of respect, I'm not gonna write them off after one game. The Angels either. Baseball's a long season, so you can't just take things off of one game, especially the first game of the season. You just can't. My Braves, yeah, the Max Fried thing sucks and it hurts, but I think our pitching staff is deep enough to hold it on until we get back. I mean, it might just be a minor injury. It's just a hamstring injury, so he might just miss one start max, you know, at least I'm hoping. So we'll see how that goes as well. But I really believe in my Braves this year. We're in a tough division, but I think the Phillies, I just think they built for the postseason more than the regular season, which is a good thing, but you got to get to the postseason to prove that. I think that's how their team is built. The Mets, like I said, with the pitching staff they have, they're going to be there. But I think it's the flip side to it, you know. They hitting still a little inconsistent, but we'll see how that goes with the Mets. I like Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor. They got guys, but can they be consistent enough to win? And that's going to be the thing. But I don't know, I mean, as far as those two teams, I like Miami as well. I think the young core that they have, they starting to show some promise again. The Nationals, like I said, they took a couple of steps back. Steven Strasburg still out. Now it's a personal thing, which I didn't know. Something personal going on with Steven Strasburg. So hopefully he's able to get back. But other than him, Washington don't really have a lot. Losing Juan Soto, while letting them go. So things that that they have to think about. But it's a tough division though. But I think we can get through it again, and win it this year again. 2 out of 3 years. So I would still stick with that. Ain't nothing changed within the week. So okay, let's move over to the NBA. Playoffs are fastly approaching. A lot of big games last night. We're going to take a look at the scores from last night, you know, especially the ones that impact the playoffs. Bucks had an interesting week. Had a monster win against the Pacers and then turned around and got blown out by the Celtics, which I don't think means a lot, but I guess the playoffs means a lot. Let's see. I think Orlando, is they still alive? I'm about to look at the standings now, but I know they hanging on by a thread for a play-in spot, but they won last night over the Wizards. Sixers won over the Raptors. They try to get outside shot for the 1 seed. Celtics win again over the Jazz. Knicks Cavaliers, of course we're going to talk about the Knicks a little bit with Julius Randle getting injured, but they did defeat the Cavaliers, which most likely going to be the first round playoff matchup. Grizzlies over the Clippers, that was a huge win for the Grizzlies. To me, starting to really become a dangerous team and could probably come out the West the way the rest of the teams is. Lakers big win last night over the Timberwolves. Warriors win over the Spurs, big as well. Kings big win over the Trailblazers. Suns over the Nuggets last night in a pivotal game. So let's talk about LaMarcus Aldrige retiring from the NBA. Of course, he was forced to retire a few years ago. I think he had a heart complication. He came, but he wound up coming back once he was cleared, and played for the Nets. Probably thinking about maybe they could win because they still had Durant and Kyrie, and Ben Simmons was speaking of Ben Simmons, I'm gonna touch a little bit on him in a second. Probably thought he could probably get, have a last shot at winning a championship. Just him retiring makes me feel old because I remember when he first started, he played 16 seasons. I'm a little bit older than him. He's 37, I'm 39. But when he was with the Trailblazers, he was a pretty formidable player. Went to San Antonio. After that, had some good years there as well under Pop. His main, you remember him as a Blazer. I think he was there. Was he there when Brandon Roy was there? I think he played with Dame a little bit as well, before he left. So, Blazers made some runs, but just could never get over the hump. And I feel bad for Dame Lillard, but I respect him though, because he says he's loyal. He don't want to leave Portland. You gotta start believing him now. People just thought he was maybe just saying that just to say it, but I'm starting to believe he really feel that way. Yeah, he had a good career. He was a good player. Everybody always want to say Hall of Fame or not. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say he's short of the Hall of Fame, but still had a great career. I just wish, you always, good players, you always wish they could have won one, but I mean, that's why it's so important. I mean, it's so rare, only one team will win it a year, so you don't have that many years in the NBA or in professional sports at all. So but I remember him for what he did for the Blazers. His demeanor was always say quiet, laid back, at least as far as on the basketball court, and even off the court you never heard him in any trouble, anything like that. So if he is going to retire, which I think, I don't think, first of all, I think that's a team, maybe, well, this year, if he just retiring now, so forget about this year, like maybe next year, maybe mid-season, if somebody need a big man that could play a little bit, maybe he might come back if it's a chance he think he could win a title. But I think both of those gotta go hand in hand, and I don't see it even next year. So this might be really it for him. So congratulations to him. Thanks for the memories as a fan. Thanks for playing in the NBA, and hopefully you live the rest of your life in peace. That's what it's all about. Finding that peace and serenity in life is hard, so trust me, I know. So hopefully he gets that, and congratulations to him. Alright, let's touch on Julius Randle injury for the Knicks. Of course, he went down the other night. They said 2 weeks. I think it might be really evaluated in 2 weeks. If that's the case, that's not good. But it's an ankle injury. Let's see, it's not here on the main page, but I want to read the article to get more detail about the injury. Let's see. But the Knicks currently right now 5th in the East. Probably not going to catch Cleveland. And Orlando still is alive in the play-in. So let's see. What a game last night with the Cavs. 48 for Jalen Brunson, I think. Donovan Mitchell had over 40 as well. I think he had like 44. So okay, let's see. Okay, say at least 2 weeks. So it's not a V-Rev. So, he might be back for the playoffs. But I think they will need him for the playoffs because the more scores you have, the better you got it. But that Cleveland series is going to be a fun series. I think it might go 7 games with those two teams. And tonight, last night was a little preview of that. But Jalen Brunson, I wouldn't say he's been a surprise, but he's you don't feel as bad. When they first signed him in the summer, he was like, wow, he's getting too much money, but he's done his thing for the Knicks. I don't think he falls short at all of that. Everybody always want to be a judge of that, that you always spend or whatever, but he basically saying we alright, not no disrespect to Julius, but he's confident that what I showed you last night with that 48. So but the Knicks, like I said, they got a nice little squad, RJ Barrett, sorry. So we gotta go back to the main menu, do this again. That's why, I like this app though, but just be having a little trouble. Sorry again. I did this on my live last week. But this is the playroom. Play with these little bots. But it got a nice, got a PlayStation camera here, so it's easier to record my blogs. Doing it on my phone sucks because I don't have the space for it, and it's just a mess. So I have to find a way, if I get a laptop, find a way to maybe start recording on my laptop through YouTube. But yeah, so the Knicks, that's gonna be a good series, them and the Cavs, because that's what it's gonna look like. So speaking of that, let's just go ahead and look at the standings in the playoff picture. Then we're gonna get into Lamar Jackson and the Final Fours, and then we'll be done for this week. So we look at the East. Milwaukee still number 1. Boston, a game and a half back. That was a statement win though, that they had against Milwaukee the other night. Then they play Philadelphia tomorrow night. So if you got the league pass, that's a game to watch. Joel Embiid against Giannis. The Bucks though, to me, like I said, really haven't been healthy all year. Chris Middleton been in and out the lineup, and they still have the best record in the NBA. It's just, to me, it's impressive. Postseason, a lot of people saying Boston have the edge, which I believe they do. Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum, I think that's hard for Milwaukee because Giannis can't guard them both, and they're good for the outside, which do should realize is Milwaukee's strength, which is the front court. And then Boston's not that small either. So it's just like they said, it's just a matchup problem maybe for the Bucks. But I think if they beat the series, I will still give Milwaukee a slight edge, just going off the season. And then there's been rumblings that they sort of not necessarily miss Udoka, the coach that lost. Well, basically, to me, I don't see how they bring him back, but they said there's been some coaching errors and stuff like that Udoka is more suited for. So we're going to take a look at that during the postseason. But Boston is nothing to be played with those two guys. So I just think Milwaukee deserves the edge just off the season, and they have won a championship recently. So Philly 3rd, I think that's what they're going to wind up being. Cleveland 4th, like I said. Then it's the Knicks 5th. I think those two are going to meet in the first round. Brooklyn Nets still holding on. Like I said, they still have talent there, so they wasn't going to fall completely off the earth, so I'm not surprised. Ben Simmons shut down for the rest of the season again. I don't want to say defend Ben Simmons because I don't know him, he don't know me. I just still believe he could be something in the NBA if he just played his game. if he's allowed to play his game. But he has to play. You know, you gotta get out there and play, man. Like, you know, I mean, but I wish him the best though. But yeah, he's shut down for the rest of the season and the postseason because I think Brooklyn is going to make it. And that's sad. I really believe he could get back. If he get back to it, he would have get. You know, I still think he can do something in the NBA. Yes, it's a jump shooting league now, and that's definitely his weakest part of his game. But he's almost 7 feet tall. He can handle the basketball like a guard. His value, he can play good defense. It's value for him if he just get out there and play basketball, you know. So that's a really unfortunate situation for Ben. Miami's 7th. Heat, to me, I'm starting to lose a little confidence in him. But they still the Heat, so once postseason comes, you still can't dismiss them. Atlanta, like I said, and Toronto, 8-9. They're a little bit two teams I thought they would be better this year. But still dangerous with the players they have. Bulls at 10th. And it's starting to get a little bit wide now. Washington, 3 games behind. Indiana, 3.5. Orlando for 4 games. So it's just starting to run out of games now. So your 10 might be there, right there. Charlotte and Detroit already eliminated. We go to the West. Denver holding on 2 games in front of Memphis for the 1 seed. Memphis 2, Sacramento 3. The only teams that's clinched. Phoenix 4th. I think they're going to wind up being 4th now that Kevin Durant's back. I think they're about to go on a little bit of a stride and hold on to that 4th spot. Clippers, Warriors 5-6, same record at 41-37. Lakers jumped to 7th when they win last night. Minnesota dropped to 9th. New Orleans, they still fighting. People that was going to fall off a little bit. They still fighting for a spot. OKC is 10th. Dallas, of course, we got to say it's disappointing, but Kyrie and Luka still ain't figured it out yet. They might not make the playoffs at all. Utah, like I said, they try to lose, so Blazers are officially eliminated now, and Spurs and Rockets are been eliminated since the All-Star break. But like I said, that Dallas, yeah, it's very disappointing. I like OKC and Minnesota. All right, let's just forget. Let's just focus on the play in here. Lakers, I think. I don't want to say a lot, but I think they're gonna make it. I like the way New Orleans been playing. It's hard for me to believe they're gonna fall off. Minnesota, just getting Cat back, so maybe they might have some bumps. OKC, like I said, I like OKC. They might. I don't know if Dallas get in. I think it might be OKC that they catch because they're the closest. But you know, the Mavs are in trouble. They're in trouble. They gotta be worried a little bit that they're gonna miss the play-in altogether. But as far as if we go back up above the 7th spot, look like it's going to maybe be Warriors Kings or Clippers Kings. Or the Kings, I mean, I think no matter who it is, or Phoenix might have fallen into 6th, which I don't think so. If the Lakers move up, I think the Kings are going to be down. I think whoever the first round opponent is, I guess because Sacramento haven't been in the playoffs before, or things of that nature. I think teams are going to down them. I think it depends on who they play in that first round, but I'm gonna give them some respect. I'm not gonna say they're gonna get blown off the map. I think they're gonna, whoever it is, they're gonna get pushed or they're gonna push them. It's not gonna be just no sweep or a 5-game series. But I think it depends on the matchup, and the Spurs to me do matter in the playoffs. So I get why people doubt the Kings, but maybe, like I said, you look at it on both sides. The naiveness of the playoffs. You know, because some people might fold under pressure. The Kings might not because they're so young and just don't, you know, till you feel that playoff atmosphere, it's different. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. I can't wait to see how things fall on. And we're going to have a special preview show of the NBA playoffs, of course. I announce it as the time get closer. But yeah, Dallas is in trouble in the West. I don't know if they're gonna make it or not. They gotta start turning up the heat now. Okay, all right. So now we're gonna move on to our man Lamar Jackson. And NFL. Let's look and see if there's any other little small news to report. But we're gonna talk about Lamar mostly. No major news. But I forgot the NBA. I saw a report last night that they get together the new CBA, and the one and done rule is not going to be lifted. It's still going to be 1 year out of high school, or I guess 19. So that's still, to me, that sucks. I think they should just go ahead and let somebody, if they ready out of high school, go ahead and come in and play. But I don't think they're gonna change the rule, because they got the G League, and everybody make a little money off of it. The G League and college basketball as well. Because if you're real good at high school, you're gonna go to the NBA. So they want you to at least do that 1 year college. And I have to give Kwame Brown, somebody that I follow on YouTube, check him out. Kwame Brown, best life, former NBA player. He said this, and it's a common sense. It's true. Like that 1 year, you playing for that college, let's just say Duke or North Carolina, Syracuse, whatever, UCLA, wherever. And especially if you have a great year, they set for life. They can sell your jersey for the rest of your life. And God forbid, if something happened to you, the value go up. At least, the value goes up. So they gonna make money. You can just have a good season. You don't have to win the NCAA championship. Just have a good year, be a top 5 pick, and they set for life. They can sell your jersey for life. So it's all about money, man. It's America. You already know what it is. It's all about the money. So I saw that last night. I was like, well, no surprises here. I know some people trying to push for it. I think some people trying to push back for it. But I think it's a lot of I think some naive people is, well, let's see me for example, because I'm not, I'm just a fan. I don't want to say it don't matter. I just want everybody to get equal opportunity, because there's a lot of things you can do at 18. That you can argue that you should wait till you're 21 or whatever to do them. Like going to the army, you go into the army at 18 and lose your life. So it's just a little bit of contradictions. It's a contradiction in everything, but it's a contradiction. But this is about money, obviously. So it's no big deal. You know what I'm saying? So, but as a fan, it's like, I like it and I don't, because some young men probably not ready, because that's the moral thing to say. He's just a 17, 18-year-old kid gonna blow his money, all this other nonsense. Get in the league and get to a bad situation, blah 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 blah. But Kwame also said this, even though everybody say his career wasn't great, but he lasted 12 years in the NBA. But like Kobe Bryant, straight out of high school, Dwight Howard, Jermaine O'Neal, Kevin Garnett is a big one. So it's been a lot of examples of kids coming out of high school and still having a great NBA career. So you can't argue that. You can argue both sides, but this is about money. So when it comes to money, you pretty much got no shot. So I think this rule is going to last for a long time, probably for the rest of our lifetimes at least, unless it's another way to make money or another. If it's more profitable to let the kids come in early, then it'll change. But until then, I don't think it's going to change. So just got to get used to it. It sucks, for a kid that really probably be ready for the NBA. But if you look at it, on another side, you get a spur somewhere. Some kids go overseas or they play in the G League, etc., etc. So we'll see. but I forgot to touch on that. All right, let's get back to Lamar Jackson. Of course, the biggest news this week that he put out there that he requested a trade March 2nd, which is basically about a month ago for the Ravens, but he just put it out this week. As talk still hasn't gotten nowhere. A lot of people keep bringing up he don't have an agent that's hurting him, blah blah blah. That might be in certain little ways, maybe, but I'm not gonna say that. I think he know what he wants. You look at the market. Everybody keep comparing it to Deshaun Watson getting this guaranteed contract for Cleveland, and I think it's somewhat is an outlier, but it did happen, and Lamar resume as of now is better than Deshaun's. That's just the point. I like Deshaun. I think he's going to bounce back, at least I believe, this coming year. But as of now, he didn't really deserve that contract, like if you want to look at it by pedigree. And like I said, the Ravens, like I said, I'm going to put this on the Ravens as a Raven. And I'm a Ravens fan, by the way, a die-hard Ravens fan. And I think they messed up. When he won his MVP, they should have went to him with a nice contract, with a good contract, sort of broke the bank for him then. What's it been, 3? I think this would be 3 years since he won his MVP. That's when they should have gave him the contract. I don't, like I said, this is, I think the only way they would have gave it to him if he'd have played and we'd have won a Super Bowl, just like Flacco. It would have been a similar situation with that. Even though Joe Flacco, he was, it just feels a little different. I think they still would have gave him a nice contract. Probably not as much, but I think he would have still would have got a nice contract, even if we didn't win the Super Bowl that year. But yeah, the Ravens messing up here. Then if you look at it on a competitive standpoint, like who are you going to turn to? Like I said, I like I'll back up. I'm going blank right now. But Tyler Huntley. Sorry, Tyler. I'll be forgetting names. I'll just be blanking out sometimes. I'm getting old. But we win some games with him, but we ain't gonna be on the level of what we need to be to really do something. And then this would be going into, then now he's played, so now teams got a lot of tape on him. You got to make adjustments. Not saying he can't, but he's not one of the top tier quarterbacks, obviously. So I think Lamar is, So the Ravens messed up here, and now he wants a trade. So they said it might be collusion in the NFL, like a quiet collusion, like owners don't want to, after the Deshaun Watson thing, they want to get things back to their favor, as far as contracts and things of that nature. But I'm surprised nobody ain't come with at least an offer sheet to sign him away. But if you look around the NFL, like I said, it's teams that need quarterbacks, but a lot of teams either have a plan to get one or they already got their guy. Like I said, especially the AFC, pretty much either have their guy. Like there might be guys you're not sure about, like Miami has come up, and New England has come up. New England, I just don't see it. I don't see it with New England. I know a lot of old Patriots players are saying this, saying that. Matthew Judon, who used to play for the Ravens, is a Patriot. He's sort of campaigning for it. But they give Tom Brady that type of money, so I don't see them giving Lamar that type of money. I just don't. So if it's about the money for Lamar, I scratch the Patriots off just like that. Miami, like I said, Tua, I like Tua. I would take Lamar over Tua though, but I like Tua. I think Miami might be satisfied with him, and then Tua still got things to prove, so you can sort of keep your team, because the Miami got a deep team now. So if they trade for Lamar, like I said, the money affects that, because you probably can't keep all your people. So they just traded for Jalen Ramsey. You know, you got other guys up for contracts. Tyreek Hill is that, you know, so you got a lot of big contracts already there. So I think they're going to stick with Tua just for that reason. So I scratched Miami off. I still like Atlanta. I think Atlanta, to me, is the best fit. If he's going to go, I think Atlanta will be great. And then Campbell just signed there to Atlanta. So familiarity with that. I like Atlanta. I think if it's going to happen, I think it might be Atlanta. The Jets are all in on Aaron Rodgers unless that somehow fall through. I don't see the Jets, even though they are AFC East teams. So, NFC, I just said Atlanta. Carolina making their plans. Like I said, I heard Detroit, but I think Detroit really like Jared Goff. So I don't think that's going to happen. Minnesota been a rumor, but I think Kirk Cousins, I think they sort of like him enough. So it's like there's nowhere to go. San Francisco has been coming up a little bit. Maybe something for Trey Lance, some type of trade or something. And imagine him with the Shanahans, what they could do. And the Niners got the running game, they got the tight end, they got sort of a Ravens, you know, formula to them, good defense. So that would be intriguing, but the Niners been quiet. They haven't said anything, so I don't know. But can't put anything past San Francisco. But that would be great. That would be a good fit for them. I think everybody else have their guy, or you know, got a plan on getting their guy. So it's the market sort of dry right now this year. But like I said, as a Ravens fan, it's just disappointing why they should have paid him after he won the MVP. Should have gave him the money then. Wouldn't be having this problem. He really seems unhappy with the tweets and stuff like that. He really seems unhappy there now. So things are not looking good. But if we lose him, we've basically the worst team in that division. I just talked about Cleveland. I like Cleveland. I think Deshaun is going to bounce back and have a way better year with a full real off season on him. No pressure to all that stuff behind him. Pittsburgh, like I said, Kenny Pickett, if he pans out, then Pittsburgh will be formidable again. The defense is always going to be formidable with TJ Watt. And then we got the best team in the division, clearly, is the Cincinnati Bengals. And we'll see what happens with Joe Burrow, especially if he have another big year. What contract will he get? A lot to talk about, man. But if we lose him, we done. Like, we're gonna be done for a couple years until maybe we can draft a guy again or something like that. So I just hope they somehow figure it out. But the more and more things come out, the more I'm starting to think he's gonna wind up going somewhere else. Or they say he might sit for this. I don't see him doing that. Now, I'm not going to go that far. I think he would want to play if he's healthy. I think he'll still play under the tag. But I don't see him doing that, sitting for a year. Unless he come out and say it, I don't see him doing it. I think he would still play if he's still here. Alright, so that's my thoughts on that. Let's take a look at the Final Four now. Let's look at the women's first, because like I said, it was two. They played last night. So we got our championship. LSU Iowa Sunday, right? Yep. Which is tomorrow. Oh, it's actually on national television. It's on ABC tomorrow. Iowa big upset over South Carolina. Their first loss of the season. Don Staley, of course, their head coach. Surprising loss, but like I said, I don't follow the women's college basketball that often, but I think that Caitlin Clark, a guard, 41 points. Wow, she carried her team pretty much more than half the points she scored and willed them to that win. So that was huge and a good moment. LSU over Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, historically, was it, them being the 1 seed is, but LSU has a better record though. But maybe because the SEC's weak or something like that. They only lost 2 games. But they won this game, so it'll be LSU and Iowa for the title tomorrow. Let's look at the men now. Preview the Final Four, which is tonight. Like I said, none of these teams expected to get here. Florida Atlantic against San Diego State. That's the first game tonight. Also nationally televised, 6:09 tip-off. Miami, UConn, 2 old Big East rivals. As Miami used to be in the Big East, now of course they're in the ACC. UConn was a Big East team. Now they in some type of other division. They changed a lot of stuff since I was young. So they're the 2 games tonight. Have no idea. I mean, I will get predictions, but I have no idea. Like I said, I haven't followed college ball enough. But as far as what I've been looking at and seeing, I like UConn. UConn just got that feel that they're gonna do it. So we'll see. And I think so. I'm gonna get UConn over Miami, and that's a good game. And then Florida Atlantic, it'll be a good story, but I just think San Diego State might win that game. And move on. So it might be UConn State, and then I got UConn. So I got UConn to win the whole thing. But who knows? It might be a complete opposite. Miami might beat UConn, and FAU might win the whole daggone thing. Don't take these predictions to the bank, but I just got UConn. I just give me that feel that they might win the whole thing. So that's what I'm gonna go with. And I know it seems crazy because they're the highest seed left, so it seems like I'm just going with the highest seed, but I just think they've been a little bit more consistent than the other teams, just a little bit more. So I'm gonna go with UConn to win the whole thing. So we'll check back on that next week, see if I was right or not. We'll talk about it next week. Okay, we're running out of time. Got about 10 minutes left. But let me just I always like to give an update on the channel, what's going on project wise. I did plan on getting MLB The Show 23, which I still will, maybe in a week or 2. Just had to take some more important things, so watch out for that project. But our projects now, of course, Ratchet and Clank, people have been liking that, so I'm gonna continue to finish that. We should be almost done there. I think we near the end of that. Like I said, I want to bring Last of Us 2 back, part 2 back. I didn't finish that, and it's bothering me, so I want to finish that project as well. Also, Resident Evil 4, we're going to finish that. We still got a long way to go. So I'm going to try to knock out some of that stuff today and tomorrow. I'm doing my off time. I got up late this morning. I was tired, man. Had a long, yesterday, the last 2 days been rough. Like I said, it's physical labor, so I'm not used to a lot of physical labor, so I'm still getting used to it. So I overslept a little bit this morning. Like I said, I usually have the blog up by now. Like I said, it's after 11, so yeah, it's going to be about noon when it posts. So they're the latest projects coming. Let's see, we got a lot of projects coming in June, so we're going to hopefully try to get ready for that. Like I said, Crash Team Rumble, Street Fighter 6, and Tekken 8. So 3 fighting games coming. So definitely can't wait for that. Well, that's it. So with the channel and everything goes. Like I mentioned earlier at the top of the show, this is actually our 6-year anniversary of the blog. This is episode 228, but and it should be more. We took breaks in between the years. Of course, 2017, that was the year, a rough year for me. But I just started the blog that year. Wow, it's like I thought I started in 2016, but it was 2017 when I started the blog. I think I already was doing playthroughs before that. But I'm gonna post something on my probably my community tab and on social media. Actually, 6 years ago today, April 1st, I did a baseball preview. I split it up in 2 parts, so I recorded on my phone. Then once I realized about the playroom, I switched over to that. I've been doing my blogs on the playroom ever since. I did a few on my phone, but most of it been through the playroom. But you know, I don't have that advanced technology. Like I said, I would probably need a notebook and a camera to record real quality videos. So maybe in the future, but as of now, no. This would be the way I would do my blogs. But I just appreciate you guys. It's been a long 6 years. It don't seem like it's been 6 years, but yeah, it's been a long, like the last 6 years has been rough. Around that time, I was still working then. I was still slightly working. I think I was on a break, and I don't know, I mean, the idea been in my head to do sports blogs, but for some reason I decided to do it that year. But it's been a lot that's happened between that day and now. It's been a lot that's happened, man. Like, you know, so it's hard to believe it's been 6 years, but hopefully we have 6 more. Hopefully the show will grow a little more. But as I said, I appreciate everybody throughout the years. During that time I had Retro Ryan Gaming, a lot of because I was doing No Man's Sky videos. I think I started off doing the first, and that's where the idea came from. It pops in my head now. I was doing No Man's Sky videos, and that was getting attention because No Man's Sky was a game that some people didn't like. Some, you know, so a lot of people be curious how the game was. So I was playing it live, and I would get my sports takes while I'm flying around in the spaceship and things of that nature. So I was like, well, I'll just do a blog, you know. So that's where I got the idea. Well, I won't say the idea because the idea always been in my head, but to actually go forward with doing blogs. So I was already doing like sports takes and stuff before I actually started the blog. But it's been 6 years, so 6 years anniversary. I mean, it's nothing to really celebrate, but I just want to just go back and reminisce on that. Like I said, we had breaks over the years. Some of it was because of my internet was messed up. I moved twice now, and also, like I said, every show I'm going to thank my friend Vet for letting me even come here, let me record here in her living room. So it's just people that I have to thank as well. My man, Good Vibes has been my most loyal supporter, at least recently. I thank him. I thank everybody who's recently subscribed to the channel as well, even though, like I said, we've been stuck on 140 for a while. And then, like I said, Sonic Origins got half of these subscribers here, so that's why I still try to do Sonic Origin videos here and there for that crowd. I think my Sonic Origins video just got to 24, about to get to 2,500 views, my very first one. So that'll keep the channel relevant forever, so I thank you for that. So I mean, it's been a long 6 years, so I just wanted to touch on that before we left today. Like I said, a little late start today, but it'll be posted around noon. I'm about to put together something to put it on social media and say it'll be posted around noon today. So thank you guys so much. As of right now, every Saturday we'll be on. It might be maybe rarely that I will have to work on a Saturday, but that haven't happened yet, and I don't think it's gonna happen no time soon. But if so, like I said, I give out an update, and then we can record on a Sunday or another day. Like I said, my venue about to change. I'm gonna be in the basement, so I don't know. You know, I got to figure that out as well. So, but just thank you guys so much. Hope everybody have a good weekend. We'll be back next week. NBA playoffs. Maybe the picture will be a bit more clear. More baseball news. If there's anything more with Lamar or anything in the NFL, we'll cover it here. And I'm Troy West saying thank you for being with me for 6 years. Hopefully we'll have 6 more years. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. And y'all have a great weekend. Peace and love always. Thank you so much.